Welcome to Session 2 of the video series on the Early Intervention System in New Jersey. Session 2 will be your step-by-step guide to the early intervention process. Here you will hear from parents and practitioners who will share information about services available for children. You will also learn about the referral and the assessment process and how that process determines eligibility for services through the early intervention system. You will also hear from parents and practitioners who will share information about working together for successful child and family outcomes.
Well, early intervention is a family-driven program. It's based on family supports and family training. So what we're looking at is how we can help the family in their daily routines help their child make progress.
So anyone can refer a child to the early intervention system. Lots of our referrals come from the child's pediatrician. I would say that's where the majority of our referral sources are from. Referrals from friends, neighbors, word of mouth. A mom is at a playground talking to another mom that her child isn't talking, and she says, "Oh, my child wasn't talking either and he received early intervention, you should call them."
So the referral is actually a state form that we complete with families. That just takes their basic information down, what the concerns are for their children, and explain to them what the evaluation process is.
If the family speaks Spanish, we will complete the referral with them in Spanish with one of our service coordinators. So we always complete the referral in the primary language of the parent.
It's a phone call, and it's a long phone call. And I actually even sat down on the floor in the bedroom. Maybe I had put him down for a nap or something, and I was trying to be quiet in the other room from him. And I just sat there, leaned back comfortably, and it was like I was talking to a friend of mine I hadn't spoken with for a while.
Then we get an evaluation scheduled for the family. We review with the family all of their parental rights. We review with them, the next steps in the process, what they can anticipate coming within the upcoming days and weeks.
It is a play-based evaluation. I do want to say that first, because a lot of families get overwhelmed, think it's some medical thing. They don't want their children being labeled and stuff like that. So we do try to let them know that it is play-based.
The evaluation takes place in the family's home or in the child's natural environment. The evaluation takes about 2.5 hours.
An occupational therapist and maybe a speech therapist had came out to our house to do testing with my son. I was there the whole way. I was questioning, what is this, how I was doing this, and they were also providing feedback for me.
We look at 5 different developmental areas. We look at a child's communication skills, a child's cognitive skills, which is how they're playing and learning, a child's motor skills, a child's social skills, and a child's self-help and adaptive skills. There's a standardized assessment tool that we used. It's called the Battelle Developmental Inventory. It's the 2nd edition of the test. So that's a standardized tool that took a sample of children and kind of ranked them up against each other to give us what's called a standardized score. And we use that score to determine how the children we evaluate stack up against what's typical for their peers.
We all sat on the floor, hung out, and played. My older son was involved since he was curious as to why they're there and why they're playing with my little brother.
The other way that a child can be eligible for early intervention and the family eligible to access those services is if they come in with a condition with a high probability of delay. That doesn't mean that they're at risk of developmental delays. It means that they have a confirmed medical diagnosis that is proven to affect a child's pattern of development. So for example, if a child's coming into the system and they have a diagnosis of Down syndrome, we know that with that diagnosis, that family and that child are going to be needing some supports to make sure that their development is on track.
Well, the results of the evaluation will be given to the family at the initial visit during that evaluation time.
The family information meeting is the first meeting that the service coordinator has with the family. At that meeting, they discuss family rights. They make sure that families understand their rights and give the family an opportunity to ask questions.
This is a state-subsidized funded program, but part of that does require parents to potentially participate in the costs of early intervention.
We do look at gross income and household size to determine any out-of-pocket costs for the actual services. But because we're a voluntary program, parents can accept, decline any service at any time.
Most of the services, the therapist will be going to the home to help the children in a natural environment. We could be in their living room, we could be in the kitchen, we can be in the backyard playing.
They may have had private services and they think it's going to be more like a tutoring session or someone sitting there just one-on-one with their child, and we want them to be involved.
I considered myself a sponge during that time, as I was learning so much, how to interact with my child, things to do that would catch his attention that I couldn't do on my own.
We're constantly playing detective, what works, what doesn't work, trying to implement strategies, tweaking these strategies as we go along. There are assessments done every 6 months, but assessment is ongoing.
At the 6-month review, we review all the areas of development, see how the child has progressed, get information from the providers as to how they feel the child has progressed, and also how the family feels that their routines are doing. So if they had concerns, maybe they no longer have concerns with that particular routine, and maybe they want to work on other things. So it's a full discussion about where we've come on the journey.
Early intervention basically laid the groundwork for where we are right now, really. For us, it was a crucial role in, one, identifying that he needed extra help, getting that help, helping our family cope with the difficulties that we were having with our son, and then, like I said, laying the groundwork to where he is now in preschool, so that he's continuing to get the help that he needs.
They helped us to see that while my son might develop a little more slowly than perhaps a typically developing child, he was going to meet all of those developmental milestones. He might take a little longer to walk, but he was going to walk. And in fact, that's exactly what happened.
Hi, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the video and that you found it informative and useful. You may have questions even after viewing the video. If so, I invite you to call SPAN at 1-800-654-7726. We'll be happy to answer any questions that you may still have or share with you additional resources.